Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation going on with an agency, which we've covered a little bit over on this channel before, being Socks Agency. Now, if you don't know, Socks Agency is a pretty new agency. Obviously, they joined around February 2024 here on Twitter. And yeah, we've covered them a few times, especially in regards to the whole Chacha Chilla situation, where she crashed out over the Minecraft stuff. Again, that kind of just fizzled out of nowhere. I don't know where that even came from. But yeah, obviously she was going after a lot of the Socks members and claiming stuff about them, which obviously just wasn't true at all. And there was a very, very strong response. But it seems like obviously Socks have been growing quite a bit. And it also seems like they are actually gaining some extra staff and stuff. So they have been doing very, very well. But they recently came out with a little kind of statement regarding obviously one of their talents, Yomi, and something that happened to one of their packages. Because they say here during this statement, during Offkai, our talent Yomi was generously gifted fan items to a partner booth for transport to them. Now, if you don't know, Offkai is like probably, I would say, one of the biggest VTuber kind of conventions out there, especially over in America, right? Obviously, we got VExpo over here in the UK, and yeah, Offkai is usually one of the biggest ones for like VTuber, solely VTuber stuff, right? And again, yeah, it seems like obviously a lot of talent, they do get a ton of gifts in and kind of presents or whatever from fans that want to give them either, you know, fan art or maybe actually give them something cool. I don't know, like it could be anything. It could be fan art, could be, you know, anything that they want, essentially, almost. There's obviously some restrictions in terms of what the agency will let them send them. But yeah, obviously it is very, very nice, and this happens very often. This is a common thing, not even just at Offkai. It happened at TwitchCon, if you guys remember. I think it was Chibidoki or someone similar to that ended up getting their stuff just tossed out in the trash by, you know, Twitch staff because they couldn't be bothered to send it to them or something. Apparently, they said it was a risk to safety, even though they were literally just gifts to be sent off to the VTuber, because obviously a lot of the time the VTuber isn't there at the convention itself. You know, sometimes there are obviously, you know, there's some VTubers that go IRL and they show up in person, right? And they're able to take the gifts home with them usually on that day, unless they get like a huge amount that they need to ship off. Yeah, maybe, you know, they're very lucky that day or whatever. But usually they're allowed to take it home with them afterwards. And obviously with the VTubers that don't show up, the agency or whatever will deal with the, you know, sending it to them, because obviously, you know, the agency probably knows their address and stuff and what to send it to, rather than, you know, fans doing it or making some kind of PO box, right? So the agency deals with it, sends it off to them, and they say these fan items were sent out a few months later to Yomi during the process of the moving, and we're sad to report the items were stolen after delivery and were unable to retrieve them or find out their location. So yeah, it seems like someone was stealing it, and this is a very common thing, I think, especially in America. I don't think it's as common in the UK. I haven't really seen very many people do it over here, but you know, porch pirates, they are very, very common. They've been coming up quite a bit recently, where essentially someone will leave you know, a delivery thing. You know, a lot of the time they leave it at your door for you to pick up, and they say, you know, come outside and get it or whatever, and you go and get it later on or something. Usually there are some people that maybe stalk these vans or whatever that are delivering these kind of things, and then they go to your home and they take it off of your porch before you even get to the door to get the package, right? So they take it off your door, and it's not the fault, well, it's not entirely the fault of the delivery company. It depends. You know, obviously they should be putting it in a safe space. Like a lot of the time, many people will have like containers or whatever that obviously delivery person can do it in, or maybe, you know, you should be like kind of answering the door or whatever. But obviously sometimes people don't like to do that, and that's totally okay. So yeah, it's just one of those things that happens. If you do leave your package at the door, or it gets left there for a period of time, then it can become a problem, because someone can just go ahead and swipe it. And, you know, it's understandable, maybe if you're out of the house and stuff as well, that can happen. And yeah, obviously, I don't think it's fully the fault of the delivery company here, because they just deliver the packages. As I said, they could have put it in a more protected area maybe and told them where to put it, where to get it, especially with the rise of this stuff happening. But again, it's not really anybody's fault apart from the person who actually stole this, right? And, you know, it's not Socks Agency's fault. It's not the gifter's fault. It's not, you know, the convention's fault. It's not, you know, Yomi's fault. It is just solely on the person who obviously stole the stuff. Now, obviously, they're going to have a big surprise whenever they open up this package and try to sell it off or whatever, because that's what they do. They didn't necessarily want what was inside. They want what's inside to sell it. off to other people. So they're gonna have a pretty big surprise whenever they open up like maybe a ton of fan art and stuff. They're like, what the like, you know, how are they supposed to sell a ton of like, you know, paper with like drawings of this one VTuber on it, which I think obviously would be pretty crazy. But obviously there's probably some other you know, gifts involved in there and things that might have some kind of value. I don't know, obviously, you know, we don't know what's inside of that package. But say what we will do in the future to prevent this is any fan items for talents at a convention will be held by immediate SVA staff, stored by SVA staff, and shipped by SVA staff in conjunction with talents cooperation and plan given to talents as to eliminate any chance of porch pirate activities. So yeah, it seems like they are going to be exclusively doing it through themselves rather than shipping it through a company, which might leave it at the door and obviously have, you know, run that risk of getting it taken out. I don't know if they have like a what do you call it, like a HQ or whatever you want to call it for socks. I don't know if they've got some kind of building if they're that big yet, but again, you know, they might actually leave it there potentially that they can go in and then pick it up. But again, also that could be the case, and it seems like it will just be like a case-by-case basis with the talent on what they want to do about it. Will like maybe like a what do you call it, an employee, will they go over and deliver it themselves if they're close or whatever? Or again, they'll probably just find some kind of way. But they say, we sincerely apologize to the fans who did give Yomi any items that were lost. To compensate, we would like to link up with them and offer them something from the SVA shop at our cost to apologize. We understand a lot of the time and money goes into fan items, and we want to do our best to apologize for this. And honestly, that's great. You know, a lot of agencies, they wouldn't do that. A lot of kind of places, they wouldn't, you know, offer, you know, free stuff from the shop essentially, because again, lots of people can understand that this isn't Socks Agency's fault necessarily. You know, it was the delivery company that obviously, you know, they were a little bit careless in, I guess, leaving it there, and at the end of the day, it did get stolen, and that isn't Socks Agency's fault. They were, you know, I'm assuming they used one of the big delivery, you know, kind of companies. I don't really know what they have in the US, but over here it'll be like, you know, UPS or something like that, right? Which again, you know, they probably put their trust in them, thinking, oh well, they're legitimate, they're not gonna, you know, leave it at the door or whatever for someone to steal, and then, you know, it might have happened. So again, I think it is very generous that they have actually done it, because they haven't necessarily done anything wrong, but it does make up a lot for, I guess, for, you know, obviously the items going missing and a lot of the fans that maybe didn't get to send over stuff. And I hope that maybe they do give them the opportunity to send them anything else that they've made or whatever to her in a better, you know, in a better kind of, I guess, a situation. Because again, I don't think it is, you know, necessarily their fault, but it would be nice to get some items over to Yomi, who obviously deserves all of the kind of fan, I guess, you know, packages and things that they've gotten, because that's the one thing that I think a lot of VTubers really love, is like the fan interactions and receiving stuff like fan mail, fan gifts or whatever. And yeah, overall, I just think it is a very, very nice gesture, and it does suck if that is just taken from you at the last very moment, right? You think about all the delivering that happened, you know, it got given to staff at the event, and then made that all that way to your door, and then all of a sudden it gets nabbed. That just must suck. I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, people have been also curious about other things to do with packages. For example, this, they say, I'm curious when y'all have received fan items to send to the talent, do y'all scan them for any hazardous items like GPS trackers and such for your talent safety? I like to think y'all do. I also assume that you don't send any food items to be, I think they mean accept, any food items to be transported to the talent as well for the same safety reasons. They say, our current policy is no food or consumables. Our staff that will be shipping will have scanners to go over items to make sure they are packed. We are currently in the position of scanners to go over any items that we receive at cons. However, the negative of this is that we will only take items at conventions SVA will be present at, so we can properly assess them. So yeah, it seems like if the staff for SVA are kind of present there, then they will accept gifts. But I think they're trying to say that they won't accept gifts if it's just the talent and that there's nobody there to kind of verify that it's safe or whatever. Because again, I do think, yeah, that is honestly a genuine concern for a lot of VTubers, right? In the sense of, if we look at Camilla, this happened, you know, a year ago, whenever a stalker obviously came to her home, and they tracked her home by using like GPS trackers, which I think obviously is crazy. You know, that is absolutely horrible, and this was such a shock for everybody in the space, not just the VTuber space, but just streaming in general, because, you know, not only VTubers aren't the only ones that really receive gifts, right? Many streamers also receive fan mail, receive fan gifts and whatever. And yeah, you always run that risk of someone sticking a tracker in there, coming to your house and, potentially, harming you or whatever. And that could be horrible. So it's good to see that Socks obviously do take a lot of precautions with that in terms of their packaging. And I'm glad that they were obviously, very open about that, that they do check their packages and they don't accept any packages that are like obviously not checked by them. And they say, how should we reach out? Should we DM, email, whatever? Said I sent Yomi a bunch of stuff, which I feel may have been the reason why they were stolen. It included multiple packs of Pokemon cards, and FedEx drivers are known for stealing Pokemon cards. They say DM with your Discord, and we will get you taken care of. So yeah, it seems like they're going to be in contact with them over Discord. So that is really good. And again, obviously they talk about the fact that they put Pokemon cards in there. Again, that could be the case. They're saying like, FedEx drivers are known to be stealing Pokemon cards and stuff. But from what they say in this, they say after delivery. So I feel like it wasn't the delivery driver's fault necessarily, unless maybe sometimes some delivery drivers, like they, team up with someone to do it. But I don't think that's the case. I don't want to believe the worst in them. I want to like believe that they did do their job correctly and that it was just someone that's, took it off of their porch. But again, I don't really know. Who's saying, I'd highly recommend doing a hold at a location with any courier. It's helped me avoid porch pirates a lot and requires you to sign in for it to ensure safety. I'm sorry the gifts got taken. And obviously they put good idea. So yeah, obviously there's also stuff like that. It could obviously end up getting delivered to, for example, like a FedEx like facility, right? Near the streamer, the VTuber, right? There's obviously probably some kind of facility nearby to them that will be, handling deliveries and stuff. And instead of them handling it and giving it to their, doorstep or whatever they're doing, they can then go into the actual, facility, give them their name or whatever information that they need, and then get the package themselves rather than it being sat on their porch, which I think would be a much better idea. So again, that is a good idea from them. So hopefully they do take that into account. Obviously they do say good idea. Obviously Yomi also replies saying it sucks, but I really appreciate this so much. Really was just a sad thing to happen, and I seriously appreciate SVA just doing their best to communicate and make things right. No fault here on SVA's part, really did the best possible, and I'm so sorry to the fans who sent me things. Thank you to everyone though, and yeah, in the future things are going to be so much smoother now. I love that you are all transparent with this. We're just people doing our best. Things happen, and sometimes when things happen, they're things that suck and are outside of our control. Once again, very sorry to the fans, as personal gifts is so loved, and don't let this deter things in the future. Anyone who sent things or lost items can contact SVA, and we'll give you some stuff that I'll share my love with, and maybe make a video or something as a thank you. Love my lab assistants and love to Socks VTuber agency. So yeah, obviously they are very positive about this too, and it is just genuinely just one of these mistakes that happens sometimes. And this stuff just happens. It's unfortunate, right? Things get stolen sometimes, and yeah, I don't think anybody should really be at blame apart from maybe the person who stole it, whoever it is. Again, they don't provide enough information on exactly if it was the delivery driver or if it was just some random person that was obviously stalking the delivery drivers to, steal the packages. I don't know. But again, obviously it seems like it's gone either way. And hopefully, yeah, everyone that is, obviously sent something to her can get involved and obviously talk to Socks and, try to get something sorted out as some kind of compensation or whatever. But yeah, that is essentially all there is with the situation. As I said, it is just very disappointing to see. So hopefully, in the future, these packages can be more protected. And yeah, that's about it, really. That's all you need to know about this situation. So if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.